shame will not catch you. Ready? We're already here. Last week, you tore shame into shreds. Of course, shame has to do with various experiences that pattern or shape someone's life, which means that shame is enough to shape the direction of someone's life if someone is not careful. So shame can create a pattern that can keep repeating itself. And shape can take a very beautiful life and make it very ugly. However, you have a choice in the matter. Every choice will make there are consequences. Last week, I remember you talking about how shame has been weaponized for discipline in school and various aspects of shame. And we want to dive into unhealthy shame. I want to see how, I want to hear from you. How do you see this?
Yeah. Shame as a method of discipline
Mm.
has become highly accepted in schools in recent time.
Mm.
I think from last week, the comment session, there was a question: how do we deal with a child in class that is uh, not being that's being rude or is not listening to the teacher in class? So I would say to discipline a child when the class is going on, it's not the duty of the class teacher at that time because there's a class to be taught.
Say that again.
To discipline a child in class at that time, it's
I'm,
not the responsibility of the class teacher at that time.
I want to be sure we're not having some network challenge somewhere. I want to be sure that are we good? Media, are we good with the network? Well, fantastic. Go ahead.
When there's a challenge like that in class, a
Mm.
child trying to disrupt the peace of the class or disrupt the learning of the class, if you respond as a teacher at that time, it means the child has succeeded in doing what he or she wants.
Yeah.
Every school should have a counselor or a disciplinarian
Mm.
in charge of discipline. So once something like that happens in class, once there's a challenge with a child, you just take that child out to the counselor's office and the class continues.
Mm.
Because most of the time there's a period of time for every subject.
Mm.
So if you are going to take the subject basic science, for example,
Mm.
to be dealing with discipline,
Mm.
then it means at the end of the day you're going to start giving the children the notes to copy without explanation. So the child should be taken out of
Mm.
class to the person in charge of discipline.
Mm.
And every school should have a written policy. They should know how discipline is handled.
Mm.
So if, depending on the weight of the offense, if it needs you calling the parents of the child, if it needs you giving him a letter of suspension, depending on the weight of the offense.
Well, these things you're saying, what if what the person did was just something that did not is not like using a gun to kill a mosquito?
You see, that's mostly the challenge when it comes to discipline in school.
Mm.
We tend to commonize some behaviors.
Mm.
If we don't arrest those behaviors early,
Mm.
it's easily copied.
Wow, wow, wow.
If a child's parent is called in
Mm.
for disrupting learning in class,
Mm.
every other child will take dressing.
There are some children that um, they will go out and make the other children believe that they even dealt with the school system. So, do you think that if we go this route and the other children don't see this child, will I use the word discipline before everybody? Won't such a behavior, won't, are we not saying that such a behavior is allowed to thrive around here?
The thing is, if the policy is every child knows the process once you
Sure.
get to the counselor's office or once you get to the disciplinarian's office,
Mm-hmm.
they know. So you can't go there and come out and brag.
But drive this to the home. Drive this to the home. Because if you're joining us, this is let's start day. Our fifth day of the week is the day we chat. This is Living Your Dreams with Kay. She's talking about how to deal with unhealthy shame, so which there are two kinds of shame. She's going to define all of that. But I want you to look at it how shame has been weaponized at home. Because we start from the home to go to the school.
Exactly.
If things are not well at home, because also parents have weaponized unhealthy shame to try to bring development in the lives of the children. How do you handle that?
It still boils down to inexperience in the part of parents.
Talk about that.
Parents need to they need to learn more about parenting. It's only parenting we see that nobody learns thinks of learning anything about parenting. You just get married, you start having children.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't have a medical doctor that does not go through training.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You can't have a lawyer that does not go through training. Parenting is as important as those courses,
Okay.
as those careers.
Mm.
But you see that we just go into it without learning anything.
Mm-hmm.
So we must encourage parents to learn,
Okay. Okay.
ask questions, look for courses on parenting so that you know what to do. Because if you don't, you are going to be parenting from the way you were parented,
Mm-hmm.
from your cultural background,
Mm-hmm.
and what you see around. Whether
Yeah.
good or-
Yeah.
But if you learn parenting, if you really study it, look
Mm.
into it, you will learn how to parent your children because children are different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The way you parent your first child might just be different from the way you parent your second child.
Fantastic. So, how do you now deal with um, unhealthy shape? Okay, so someone is saying that the volume is low. So, technical team, let's be sure we have enough. We have enough volume on the other side. Okay, so is our volume better now? Are we good to go? Can we go? Run us through dealing with unhealthy shame. Yes.
Okay. Before we run into unhealthy shame, let's look at healthy shame. Let's differentiate it.
Awesome.
When we say healthy shame,
Mm.
it's the shame you feel when you leave the house wearing the back of your dress.
Yes.
You know, you're already out of the house and somebody tells you, you're wearing the back of your shirt. You look at it and say, oh, the back of my shirt, you know? Is that shame? You just
Yeah,
around. Now,
yeah.
people are seeing me.
That's
So
it.
you quickly find a place to change. But
Yeah.
immediately you change your clothes and you are wearing the shirt properly,
That
shame
shame
is
is
gone.
gone. So, which means shame. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So that shame is gone immediately.
Mm.
That shame is gone.
Mm.
Now there's also the shame you feel when you're dressing and you look at some part of your body. This part of my body is open. This part of my body is not covered properly.
Mm.
I need to dress and cover myself up. That's healthy shame.
Yeah. So, in other words, healthy shame is motivational, is
It's-
corrective.
It's corrective. It's
Oh, awesome,
motivational.
awesome, awesome.
It drives you in the right direction.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But when it comes to unhealthy shame,
Mm.
it's destructive.
Wow.
It's the soul.
Mm.
And when you think about it, it hurts you.
Wow.
But for healthy shame, when you think about it, in fact, it makes you. You think about it, you laugh about it.
Mm.
But from unhealthy shame, it worries you.
Mm.
And for children, it's a narrow line between shame and sometimes trauma.
Mm. Mm.
I've had an experience with a child that came back from school, still shaking.
Wow.
And I asked, what's going on? I could sense fear
Mm.
in her. What's going on? She said there was a boy that could not write in school. That the teacher beat the boy. As she was saying beat the boy, you could see, you could really feel the fear.
Trauma.
Yes, in the child. Now, that experience was not direct.
Mm. Oh.
She was not the person being told.
Mm.
But because she knows that this thing is not,
You can put on it tomorrow.
you can put me tomorrow, exactly because I'm going there. You know?
Yeah.
And actually, like what she said she was moved from her class to that class.
Mm.
She was in basic 2. That was basic 3.
Mm.
She their teacher had to quickly go somewhere, so they moved basic 2 to just stay in basic 3 class before the teacher comes back. And she had that experience in basic 3 in that class. So her fear was, is this what I'm going to experience when I get to basic 3? So I had to do a lot of damage control. Talking to her, encouraging her. How do you think the boy felt? He said, I don't know what the mother and the father of the boy are doing. This, that was her fear, that was her worry. Not dealt with. That is trauma for that child. If I had not noticed, that's another level entirely.
Yeah.
You understand? So I had to follow it up. By the time she finished the section, she was to go to primary 3. I told her, don't worry, I will follow you to school. And when I got to school, I explained to the head of school, I'm like, please, this is the experience this child had in school. I hope this teacher is not going to be there, because there's no way this child is going to learn with that teacher. And thankfully, the teacher was moved to another class.
But that's fear.
Yes, that's fear for the child. But for the person in question,
that's shame.
that's shame.
That's terrible shame.
That's shame. And I'm bringing the story up to see how it affects other children.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
In the assembly ground.
Okay, this is what happened in the assembly ground.
No, it happened in the class.
Okay.
For a child that is being disciplined in the assembly ground, how are the other children taking it? They are all taking it differently. Some are laughing, some are crying. Then for the sibling of that child being disciplined, it's another experience.
Yeah.
For example, a child steals and you are bringing to the school assembly to tell everybody that this child stole, and you are disciplining the child in front of everybody. Have you thought of the siblings of that particular child in that school?
But parents do it at home.
But the fact is done at home doesn't make it right. At home is even smaller. It's a smaller circle in the house. Even as small as that circle, it's still damaging.
Very damaging.
Still damaging. They now think of it in a bigger context, in a larger context. More children, more parents get involved, because my child is going to come home and tell me who was flogged today and how the child was flogged and why the child was flogged. So this just goes on
and on and on. Because shame is more identity based than guilt. And we need to start differentiating between shame and guilt. People don't know that those two things are not the same.
They are not the same.
They are not the same.
They are not the same. They are not the same. Shame will say, I am bad.
Yeah.
But guilt will say, I did something bad.
Shame will say, I am bad. Identity based. So shame takes something that is supposed to be like a noun and turn it into a verb.
Okay? You say so.
Because I am bad means I'm stuck. There's nothing I'm going to do about this. I did something bad. Is a verb.
Then the
I'm
shame
bad.
now takes it to now.
Turn it to noun.
Now,
So
I am bad.
I am bad.
Yes.
So
that is identity
yeah.
being affected now.
Okay, we need to check the volume. Someone complains that the volume is so sorry about how the network is today. Actually, maybe we should. So sorry about how the network is very, very, very challenging. Very, very challenging. What do we do? Okay. I'm looking at the network. I'm wondering how those of you who are watching us from home are going on about it. All right.
I would say having established healthy shame. I would say dealing with unhealthy shame. For children, we cannot emphasize place of prayers.
Okay.
You need to pray with them and pray for them.
But you know, the issue of prayer, many people do not think that prayer is a strategic, practical, pragmatic way of solving problems. In fact, when you bring the concept of prayer, some people think it's because you're intellectually not okay, that you can drive results from your mind and produce solutions from your mind without prayer. Mm.
For me, I'm a Christian,
Mm.
and there's no apology.
Okay.
I will pray,
I'll pray.
and it works for me.
Yeah.
And I will say, pray before I move on to other steps.
Come on now. Come on.
I will pray. It's always advisable you pray
Yeah.
for the child and for the child.
Yeah. So that you can even download strategies, the right
Exactly.
strategies that will fit into the content
So
of
the
this.
test of the child.
Shoot.
Exactly. Then from there you can now move into you can move to self-affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
Teach the child what to say to herself every day.
Wow.
To his
Wow.
herself every day.
Wow. Wow.
That what happened has got nothing on you.
Mm.
Okay? Depending on the situation, depending on the type of shame, and also you know the word of affirmation as a parent to teach your child.
But what if the parents have shame they have not dealt with?
That's the point where you need help.
Yeah, continue. Yeah, continue.
Because if you as a parent you have shame you have not dealt, you can't give what you don't have. You can't give what you don't have. So you need help. So if at that point you see that this shame, your child's heart is bringing out the hurt in you, you are crying, your child is crying, it means you too, you need help. So that is the point move to the third stage, getting professional help. Prayerfully get professional help. Prayerfully again.
Yeah.
Because you can't just walk anywhere. You can't just walk to any counselor or any therapist. I don't believe. I personally believe there's a therapist for every person. So prayerfully get a therapist to work for you.
So what you're saying is that to deal with shame, first of all, you have to learn how to teach your child or teach whoever it is to be self-affirmative. To begin to, first of all, see yourself in a positive light. Take it from the take it away from the now and bring it back to what it is. So put it in proper perspective. I did something bad does not mean that I am bad
at all. It doesn't mean that you are bad.
Yes.
It only means that you did something bad, and the way you were treated does not define who you are.
Come on. Which means, from what you're saying, I failed is different from I'm a failure.
Exactly. It's different from I'm a failure.
I hope you understand.
I'm learning from it.
Awesome. Does not mean I am a failure.
No.
Yes.
You're not a failure.
Awesome.
And I always say the best time to fail is when you are young. Because when you fail at that time, you get better at it.
But even when you fail when you're old, I recognize that you're not a failure. You can still come out of it.
You can still. But why I'm saying the best time to fail is because parents tend to protect their children from failure.
Okay.
We don't want them to be bad. And most of the time when you see parents do this, it's mostly because of their own self-image. Yes.
Flow.
You don't want to hear that your child repeated this. You will do everything. I've seen parents change their children's school because they failed. And over the years, we don't even hear that the child failed anymore.
Hold on. They said the volume is low. Is the volume low? Okay, those at home, please have a comment that says the volume is low. I know the network is challenging. It's fine. Oh, right. Okay. Shalom. We'll have prayer that tells us that the volume is very low. All right. Okay, is this volume still very low?
Okay, let's
Okay, the volume is okay with your earpiece. How is the volume? Okay, so those of you, those there's see, the network is blessed today. The network is very blessed, but
let's continue.
but but, but
Okay. Um, Sometimes, depending on the situation,
mhm.
there is a need for healthy confrontation.
Healthy confrontation, flow.
in the in the part of the parents.
Mm,
If the child knows that my parents followed me to school
mm, mm.
to talk about this thing that was done to me,
What if it's not school? What if it's something that happened on the street?
if you go and find out
Mm,
this is the person that did this to me,
mm,
you actually go, it boosts the child's image,
mm,
it boosts the child's ego. That,
mm,
oh, my parents went to find out, or my guardian took time to find out
yeah.
this thing happened to me.
Mm,
It reduces the pain
mm, mm,
and the pressure on the child.
mhm, mm.
Except it's a situation where there's nobody to confront. Like I said, healthy confrontation.
Okay.
Go and fight, because it just makes matters worse.
Okay.
So when you confront, the child knows that I am cared for.
Yeah.
The child knows that, oh, I'm cared for. My guardian cares about me.
Mm.
This, my feeling means something to my guardian.
It means
my
the
parents.
child feels
It
important.
is important, yes.
Okay.
There's also the need for that if
Mm.
in dealing with unhealthy shame.
Yeah.
There's also the need for that.
Okay. So for those of you who are watching, we are very sorry about the state of the network. But she has said some very important issues. The first one is that there has to be strong affirmation. Strong affirmation, confrontation. Don't go there and remove slippers, remove shirt, and boss fight, because sometimes parents do that. They say, oh, the teacher beats my child, or the teacher, they carry fire and then go. They give teacher in front of their children. Yeah.
Confrontation should not be done in front of the child.
Okay.
The child knows that, oh, my parent is going to confront the situation, but the child must be there.
And most times, parents do this thing in front of the child because
they do it does not make it right.
Yeah.
Does not make it right.
Because they feel that that's the way the child will understand that they care for them.
Just following the child alone, it's enough. The child does not have to have all the information.
Yeah. What happened?
Of how it went. The child doesn't have to have all the information. Because maybe that process there might be heated fellowship. That the child does not need to see all of that.
That's true.
Knowing that you took time to follow me
means a lot
to children. So that is another aspect we need to look at in dealing with unhealthy shame.
All right. Yeah, many people are complaining about the network today. God is going to help us, but whatever it is, we're almost done. Hey, thank you so much. Do you still have something to say? I'd like to hear you.
We've covered dealing with unhealthy shame to a large extent. I would say, like I said last week, parents be sensitive to your children's body language and how they feel. Notice it, because some children will tell you, some children will not tell you, because we have different children and the way they handle things are different. So you should be close enough to observe. If you're a busy parent, we cannot take that away from some parents. They are busy parents. Who is taking care of your child? Who is the caregiver? How well do you communicate with the caregiver? Does the caregiver know what we want him or her to do? These are some of the things that you should look out for as a busy parent.
You know, talking about caregivers, some just flew through my mind that if you have a caregiver, it means that the caregiver can also be trained on how not to shame the child.
Exactly.
Uh, I didn't think, I'm just thinking about it.
Yes, the caregiver has to be trained. If you want to employ somebody, you train. That's how it's supposed to be. Just that we're taking parenting for granted.
That's right.
We're taking it for granted and we don't see any needs there. I've been taking care of children right from when I was in secondary school. I've been parenting for 20 years now. Somebody recommended, and that's all.
Anyway, my friends, the network has not been very fantastic today, but um, we have some things to say to you. All right. I've heard what we said about shame. It's something that you need to know that, first of all, Jesus took out your shame. So if you allow the shame to stay there, what's going to happen is it's going to reconfigure your life, and you don't need that. Because the thing about shame is that it makes you hide. Shame will always make you hide behind the shadows. Uh, um, Even with shame, what unhealthy shame, what you can do naturally, what you are gifted and competent to do, the moment you are operating in shame,
You can't
you
do it.
always feel less than you are.
Exactly.
So it's something that we need to watch out. That thing that makes you feel less than you are, that gives you a twisted mindset about yourself. That, in fact, you feel that everybody around you is better than you, even though they are not
They
better
might be
than you.
better than you.
So shame makes you cover. You feel devalued. You feel less than enough.
Broken.
I think that's the word I've been looking for. Unlike guilt, for guilt, you feel a sense of remorse. And feeling a sense of remorse, you go back, you
Yes.
return to original peace. But shame makes it look as if, makes it look like you are stuck here and you're never ever going to come out from this place. And there are many people who are dealing with shame. Listen, shame is not your identity. Shame, you were not created with shame. Shame came as a result of the fall of man. And when Jesus came, he took out shame. We don't want to say something in conclusion so that we can go.
So once you recognize shame, do something about it.
Don't stay with it. Don't stay with shame. Don't stay with shame. Go ahead. Shoot. Shoot.
We should not hide.
Mm,
We should not hide.
mm,
Because most times what we do is we hide. Once we see shame, we tend to hide. Let's try as much as possible to always come out of it. Talk to somebody.
mm.
Talk to somebody. Because if you don't deal with it as a person, when you are raising children, you are going to be doing a lot of damage.
The speech is you will forget that same shame on your
Exactly.
children
On your
and do
children.
what's damage.
Oh,
Oh,
you need to really, really, really be
very sensitive.
very sensitive about it.
Mm.
It's not something that should be overlooked or swept under the carpet.
Thank you so much, Irene, for this beautiful explanation. So, friends, so sorry about the network. For next week, we're expecting a very wonderful woman who has very powerful work that she has been doing with women, and she will be taking another aspect of shame that now has to do with adults. You know what we do? We first of all go to children. We tell you how something affects children, then we go to how it affects adults. Yaduni Adeboye, forgive me if I didn't pronounce it well, will be joining us next week. She's a woman I respect so much. I've been in her program. She's going to be here with us. And watch out, something good is going to happen to you. Thank you.